architected for 1v1 into a 2v2 game with these novel mechanics for how you switch and stuff was there was a stretch there where we were building the tech and building the characters, and there was a gap where we're like, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? And like Tom says, like the epiphany moment where we had the worst version of the game, but the first teamwork moment was just like, oh my god, this is such a good feeling that I've never experienced in a fighting game before. And it's like, I've had the experience of like being in a match in a tournament and having a coach in my ear, and I know what that feels like. But being able to like be the coach and then switch and then be pointing and have the coach in your ear because your teammate is cheering on, and then being able to call out, watch out for that jump, and he's looking for your jump, stay on the ground, and like that happened right away, and we knew we had hit on something really
special. And what was really cool was it made like those salty moments like suddenly become fun. It's like, like what are you doing? Like let me in, right?
Like, I mean, you guys remember, you guys did the Street Fighter Cross Tekken team tournament at EVO. I think Justin and Flo almost like stopped talking to each other. But I mean, how much? And I want to kind of do this for the benefit of the people at home, too. I mean, people know you guys as the guys who have created Shoryuken.com, as, you know, the people who started EVO and such like that. How much do the people, I mean, I know the audience is probably not aware of this, but how much do the people in the offices know your guys' fighting game background, that you guys were super, super good at fighting games at one point in time? And I only say that because I know that you have beaten me in 2 tournaments, Tom, so, you know, I'm going to gas you up as much as possible so I feel better about myself here.
Well, thank you. You're making me feel pretty good about myself. Yeah, actually, so folks know about, you know, the EVO story, but, I mean, that was so long ago. And I don't know actually. And I don't know. It's like it's so tougher now. I don't like to talk about like I was good back in the day because like I mean like the competition now is just like leagues beyond where we were. But like I think like you know making this game has been part of like one continuous journey for us, like starting with like players and like, oh my god, these games are so sick, and like how can we help, and then running tournaments, and then Tony's like, well, I think I know something about netcode, and like, you know, doing the GGPO thing, and now it's like, okay, like what's next, and we're always looking for like what's next, and so that's what led us here to like try to make a game.
I always remember you had a technique in Alpha 1 named after you, the Tom Cannon.
What?
Really? Anti-air super, the level 1 anti-air super.
But that was fraudulent. That wasn't real. That didn't work. But no one knew Birdie, right? Yeah.
The black bracket of death, you beat Alex Valle in the black bracket of death of Super Turbo at EVO one year, right? So.
You are going back in the vault, James. You're going like 15 years back.
But again, I mean, that's what the reason why I bring it up, though, is because I want people to know your guys' passion for fighting games. I mean, you created GGPO because you were just literally sick of playing terrible netcode, right? So.
Succinctly, yeah. I mean, like latency-based netcode is not as good as playing in the arcade was, and trying to find a better way, something that came closer. And
and I still remember, you guys had me come and test, like, I think it was Alpha 2 a long time ago, on Final Burn, I think it was, or whatever the emulator was, I don't even remember. So again, I mean, just talk to me, like, how do you feel about, like, this career that you guys have had? Because, like I said, I mean, honestly, people talk about the fighting game Dark Ages, and honestly, like, I feel like in the States, the FGC would have probably kind of faded away without EVO kind of giving people that drive to keep playing and to keep being strong. Shoryuken.com at one point in time was one of the most viewed sites, you know, and you guys weren't even selling anything. It was just, you know, people coming to the forums and everything like that. The reason why I say that I feel like you two are so important to the FGC is because I truly believe that, right? Like, I feel like you guys have done so much. So, you know, thinking back, and you guys have now dedicated so much of your life to this fighting game community, like, is this just like this kind of legacy that you look at and are very proud of at this point, you know?
I think we got to set the record straight a little bit. I think Tom and I had a vision and a passion and a belief in fighting games, and we created a space that was filled with a lot of really passionate players. Like you talk about the Dark Ages, like Marvel carried us through the Dark Ages.
Yes.
And Justin Wong and Stanford and Yipes and Doug and a lot of amazing players came and carried the FGC. And like we were doing our best to support that
we were
effort.
just trying to help.
And creating structure and trying to like create like, you know, hey, arcades are dying. Maybe we can rent out hotel ballrooms. And we took some risks and those risks worked out, but it was a community effort. Like everything we've done has been supported by so many, even Project L. Like it's taken hundreds of people working on this project to see this like 4-character WC now, and they're all just as passionate about this as we are. So, and that's I think what I'm most proud of looking up, like my involvement in the fighting game community is the connections you make and the people you meet, and everyone is in it for each other and for our shared passion about the game, right? Which makes it very special. Like we're just in it together.
I think like every year, like we've been able to like bring new people to Evo, either like friends or like colleagues from work, and like they're just like blown away. And it's not like the scale of the event or anything like that. It's like, you know, the passion that you can see, like this means something to people. Like, and you know, like that's why we do it. And that's why we just want to keep it going, right? Because there's something like special here that needs to live on, right? And it needs to, you know, grow. And so if we can help and we can inspire other people to help and we can all do it together, that's how we've gotten this far.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Again, I mean, like I said, I don't wanna like make you guys feel too uncomfortable here. So I would like to ask more just like, you know, Evo questions here, but I mean, is that something I can do here?
Yeah, sure,
like,
why not?
would you guys have ever imagined Evo being at this scale right here, like with a 7,000-man tournament, you know, being in Mandalay Bay? You know, this is kind of something that you guys created. Is it something that you even imagined would get? Because one of the famous scenes in Bang the Machine is Vi sitting there and like, see, they have these things at stadiums. Can you imagine one of these days? And here we are, right?
Yeah, I mean, the first tournament we ran in 1996? Or something like that. It was in the 90s. It was long enough ago that it doesn't matter. It was like 64 people, right? And so, yeah, like, never imagined it would get to this scale. Like, hoped that we could, like, you know, fill a hotel ballroom, right? And we did that in 2009. And then it was just like, well, what's the limit, right? And we haven't found the limit yet, right? And so I think like, and what's really great is like, it feels like now